Hi, this is David Kelly, and I want to spend a couple of minutes just showing you some of the amazing things you can do with the new app available for DevLearn 2011. So let's just open it up and get started. Now I'm showing you this app on an iPhone. All the functionality that I'm going to show you is also available on the Android and iPad versions of it. This app is designed for conference attendees, and there is information within here that you would need to log in order to get access to. However, I am going to show you a couple of things that are available to people who are going to be not attending the conference through the back channel that can also be of value. So you see here, there's two major menus to the screen, to the app. First, front screen and back screen. We'll look at each one a little bit individually. First one here is the agenda. This is essentially your app-based program guide that you can look at any of the programs that are going to be available, you can get details on. And it's organized in two ways. I can look at the agenda by date, where it defaults to the first date, and you're just looking through chronologically through the events that are available. I could also click on the individual days to get the specific sessions if I wanted to. Or I also have the option to look for sessions by type. So if I'm not sure what it is I want to see, but I want to go for specific categories like emerging tech, I can just click on it and see all of the items and dates in the sessions that I want. And if I want to get into greater detail on any of them, I just click on it and it gives me the details available for the session. So that's one of the primary reasons that people get the apps, is to go through the agenda, and the new app does not disappoint in terms of the navigation and detail you can get from that. The next option you see here is What's On Now. That's going to be very useful once the conference is active. Click on that and it'll just give you a snapshot of anything that is currently going on. So if you have a moment in the conference or when you're monitoring the back channel and you want to see what type of things are actively going on or what to decide to look at next, just click on that and it'll give you a snapshot of what's going on. Next option is My Agenda. Now My Agenda is great if you wanted to actually plan your trip, which I highly recommend. When you get on that, you'll notice the first thing it does is it's asking me to log in, because this is something that's only available to conference attendees. So you would put in your email address that you use to register for the conference, and then the password is going to be the same for everybody. The password is going to be DevLearn in all lowercase. And once you're logged in, you'll have access to all the content of the app. So what the My Agenda option enables you to do is, let's say I'm looking at the agenda to decide what it is I want to do. And one of the things I might know right off the bat that I want to do is I want to go to all the general sessions. So I'm going to go into Types, hit the general sessions, and I see all the different general sessions that are available there. And I have the details here. And anytime you're in the details of a specific program, up in the upper right hand corner you'll have a plus. You click on that and you'll have two options: Add to My Agenda and Add Notes. Adding to My Agenda does just that. Gives you a pop-up, says, do you want to add this? And what that enables me to do is plan my trip and all the content I'm going to do, because now when I go into My Agenda, anything that I've said I wanted to do is already in there. So it's a great way to track and plan for your trip. Great way to plan your agenda there. There's also the next option here that says Map. If I go into that, I can get an interactive map of everything that's going on at the program, where it is I want to go, what it happens to do, and also not only for the program but also the area itself. You can get details there. If I wanted to get information about all the individual sponsors that are available from the conference, I can look through it here. Great list of the people who are sponsoring DevLearn this year, and any details you might want to have about any of the sponsors. One of the great new features of the app this year is this next one here called Attendees. Anyone who's registered attendee of DevLearn is going to be on the list here. And not only can you get information about the people that are here, but what's also incorporated into this app is an incredible new messaging feature. So if I was looking for someone on this app, scrolling through, and I happen to find someone that I've said, oh, you know what, I'd like to meet up with that person for lunch, or I'd like to send that person a message, I can go through the app, find the person's name on the list, whoever it happens to be. Lots of people attending DevLearn, as you can see as I'm scrolling through here. All exciting people to meet. And if I find someone on there, you'll see here, once I find their option, I can hit Send a Message. And it brings it up, it looks like it's bringing up an email on my iPhone, but it's actually bringing up a dedicated messaging service within the app that only goes to someone else in the app. So I can just go in here and type this person a message, and send that, and it will go in to the inbox of that person on their app on the other side. You'll also notice here that the message says game on, message sent, and that I earned a point, which brings us to one of the next features of the app, which says game down here. There is an incorporated game into the app. If you open that up, it'll give you the details on it, that you can earn points throughout the app for doing various activities. There's a Foursquare-like check-in option that's going to be going on at some of the sessions, and it gives you all descriptions here on how you can earn points through the app in terms of activity that you're doing during the conference. Great little extra add-on to give you a little bit more engagement during the conference, and you see here that gives you instructions on how to play the game through the app, an interactive leaderboard to show who's been earning points throughout the app, and also the type of events that you can check in. When you go to an event, it's going to give you a specific check-in code. You enter that check-in code and submit, and again, it will earn you points towards the game that's on there. And there'll be more information available at the conference about the game. But again, just another level of interactivity that's been added to the app this year. If you wanted to get any more information about the speakers themselves, you can click on that. And all the speakers who are going to be at DevLearn, all listed in here. You can go in here and get information about any one of them. Gives you information about who they are and what events they're going to be speaking at. And again, integrated right into the agenda. If I saw that I wanted to see who this person, I wanted to listen to Cami, what she was speaking about, saw she's speaking here, brings me right in here, and I can go right in and add it to my agenda. Great feature. Again, the app just takes it to another level this year. You'll also see here another option for social. Lots of ways to connect with people. In addition to the integrated messaging that we saw, there's an automatic Twitter feed here, which brings you the back channel of the conference straight through the app. One of the things that's also nice about this is if you click this tool button here, I can log in to Twitter using my credentials, and then I can tweet directly through the app. And when I tweet directly through the app, it will automatically add the DevLearn hashtag for me. You also have the option of connecting through the DevLearn LinkedIn group through this app. It'll just bring up the DevLearn, the LinkedIn page for the DevLearn group, and you can just interact there as well. And lastly, there's also the DevLearn YouTube channel, that if you wanted to see some of the videos that are available from the DevLearn YouTube channel, you can just, again, do it directly through the app. Looking at the second page that's here, if you wanted to get information about anything that's going on at the conference, there's an info booth tab. You just click on it, and it gives you all the details that you could want about information at the conference, how to register, information about the back channel. I mentioned that integrated messaging feature. If I go in here, you can go into the messaging feature, and you have two options here. You can see the things that have come to you in your inbox, and also things that you might have sent through the messaging service. There's also another neat feature added to the app this year, the gallery. The gallery is going to enable you to see pictures that people have taken and posted to the gallery on the app. So if you go through here, it's going to bring up any pictures that people have taken and added to the gallery. This, being that it's new, it's not there. And you also have the option to upload your own photos directly to the gallery. I click on that, I can either take a photo or use something that's existing. I say take a photo, it automatically brings up my camera app. I just go in, take a picture of whatever it is I want to take. Gives me the preview, and I just hit use. Gives you the option to put a brief description on it. And then I just share it, and it becomes part of the gallery that everybody can see through the app. Again, something that no other conference has added to their app before, and a great way of sharing the information that you're getting from the conference, just directly through this single portal of the app. A couple of other options that are here. Again, I mentioned that you sometimes are going to get this pop-up saying that the data is available. They're consistently updating the app with the most up-to-date information. If I say OK, it's just going to upload that. For the purposes right now, I'm just going to decline it. I looked at the options here for the gallery. I can search through the app for just about anything that I wanted to. I could search the agenda for information. I could search attendee information. I could even search attendee companies. All ways that I could just search and pull up information through the app. If you wanted to go in, you could review the app itself, which will take you directly to the App Store, or whatever your app happens to be located. It could be Android Store or such, and you can review the app. And then then you also have a great option in here called My Notes. My Notes is going to bring up any notes that you might have and be able to send you all the notes. You can actually use the app itself to capture all your notes, and I'll just give you a brief demo of how that works. So if I'm in the agenda here, or more likely I'm going to be in my agenda, and I happen to be at the keynote, I bring this up and I'm watching the keynote and I'm listening to what people are saying. I can go in here and hit this plus button, and I have an option here for add notes. And if the speaker said something that I wanted to remember and take a note on, I can go in here and make a note of it. And it saves this information into the app. Once I go in here and I save it, it saves that note into the app for me. You can see it down here that it saved whatever note I made. And what's great about that is at the end of the conference, if I use that to take all of my notes, I can hit this My Notes button, and it's going to bring up an email that dumps in every note that I've taken, that I can now just email it to myself or to my boss and say, okay, this is the type of information I learned at the conference. It gives you a nice trip report right out of the app. Those are some of the major things that are on here. One other thing, just a couple of tips from my own exploring of this app that I would recommend. If I go into the attendees section, you have the ability to find information, and I'm just going to find myself in here as an example. You notice when you bring up your personal profile, there's two options here that says email and phone, privacy setting is on. You have the option as to whether or not how much you want to share with people. Now, one of the things we all like to do when we go to conferences is connect and network, so you might want to actually be able to share this information with people electronically so that I don't necessarily have to send people my email address and phone number. I just want them to be able to get it if it's there. And I can set it up in the app so that anyone who wants to get my information can do that. The way you do that is you just go up into settings, and you'll see immediately you have a couple of options here. By default, it's set up that if you wanted to receive messages from people, you can. There's two options here that by default are off, and that's the ones we were just looking at. If I want people to be able to see my email address when they look at the attendee list, I just need to turn it on. Same thing with phone number. If I want people to see my phone number, I just turn it on. That information is pulled from the registration information that you gave when you registered for DevLearn. So I'm just going to turn those on and save it. And now that information is there. So you can see there's a lot. I just went through it fairly quickly. There's a lot of great things that you can do with this app. Same functionality, whether it's on an iPad or whether it's on Android or an iPhone like we're looking at here. I will also say that I think that even though there's most of the value here is for the conference attendees on site, the app is also a great way to expand the knowledge that you're getting through the back channel. Just as an example, I'm just going to log out here so that I give you the non-attendee version of it. If I tried to get into some of these things as a non-attendee, it's going to prompt me to log in. So I'm not going to be able to get the attendee list as someone remotely going in. However, I can get into the agenda just fine. And I think that this is extremely valuable because what this enables me to do is to look at the conference sessions. It gives me, when I'm reviewing the back channel and seeing what people are talking about, it gives me the context of the session that they're at. I can read through this, I can see what the context is, gives me more of an understanding of what people in the back channel are talking about. An excellent resource to enhance a back channel experience for the remote attendee. An additional point with that I would recommend is you'll notice here that the timing on here is giving me 11:30 to 7:30 for certain things, and if I go to some of the keynote sessions and such, the timing is showing where I currently am, which is in New York. It's giving me the local time for all these transactions, which is an excellent feature for those of you who might be monitoring the conference through the back channel. So regardless of where I am, I can know, for instance, if I'm in the agenda, or if I go into the types and I say, I definitely want to set aside some time to see the keynotes. Well, I can look at the keynote and say, all right, well, this keynote's going to be going on where I'm at 7 o'clock at night. And it tells me at that time, and I might want to book some time on the calendar to monitor the back channel live while that conference is going on. So definitely some good functionality and some uses of the app, even if you're not going to be attending DevLearn on site. But without question, if you go to conferences and you used apps in the past, this app definitely takes it to a new level and is a great example of how DevLearn is continuing to lead innovation in the learning and development field. So I hope this little demo was useful for you, and we'll see you at DevLearn.